Okay, gonna start in reps. 10th regular session of the 35th Student Assembly is hereby called to order. I'll stand please for the opening ceremonies.
Knowledge and understanding.
It's not on view, man.
Almighty, loving, and merciful Father, creator of everything and source of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, we adore you for your infinite wisdom and power. We praise you for you are the only one who can direct our lives. We thank you for all the gifts you have bestowed on us, your children. Without you, we are nothing. You teach and instruct us in the way of life and guide us into your will. May we teach others with the wisdom and love that we receive from you. Remind us that our teaching is an act of worship to you. Amen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alaihim ghairil maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Rabbana dalamna wa ilayka tawakkalna wa ilayka anabna wa ilaykal masir. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adzabannar. Rabbana waj'alna muslimaini laka wa min dzurriyyatina ummatan muslimatan lak wa arina manasikana wa tub alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Rabbana dalamna anfusana wa ilam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Birahmatika ya arhamur rahimin walhamdulillah.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, halap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Upang hinirang, luyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka masisiil. Sa lahat punog sa simoy at sa langit mong mukha, may nilagaw ko na nakawit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nanirinig. Ang bituin na tawag ng kailan, pamay maghihiling.
Thank you, Reps. You may be seated. The Chair will now give the floor to the Secretaries to conduct roll call.
Good afternoon, honorable representatives. Once I call on your name, please respond with present. College of Agriculture, Representative Inao. Representative Inoferio. College of Arts and Sciences, Representative Bitong, Representative Desquitado, Representative Desquitado, Representative Dizon, Representative Dizon, Representative Jacoba, Representative Hamera, Representative Hamera, Representative Mohammed, Representative Tevez, Representative Valiser, College of Business and Administration, Representative Estolioso,
Present.
Representative Ozoa, Representative Villaflores, Representative Villaflores, College of Computer Studies, Representative Rosell, Representative Gunot, College of Engineering and Design, Representative Almagro, Representative Balbon, Representative Balbon, Representative Arbon, College of Education, Representative Isada, Representative Rendon, College of Law, Representative Macarubo, Representative Maputi, College of Mass Communication, Representative Malolot, Representative Samson, College of Nursing, Representative Ragay, Representative Ragay, Representative Roa, College of Performing and Visual Arts, Representative Tamayo, Representative Kalasang, Divinity School, Representative Ernacio, Representative Omambak, Graduate Amante,
Present.
Institute of Clinical Laboratory Sciences, Representative Kalumpang is present. Institute of Environmental and Marine Sciences, Representative Hoxon, Representative Vale, Institute of Rehabilitative Sciences, Representative Andres, Representative Lopez, Junior High School, Representative Abbas, Representative Cabanas, Representative Hernandez, Representative Lorente, Representative Visoro, Representative Visoro, Medical School, Representative Chavez, Representative Gorecho, School of Public Affairs and Governance, Representative Makahig, Representative Minalang, Representative Minalang, Senior High School, Representative Cadiz, Representative Cadiz, Representative Depilio, Representative Ferrer, Representative Lim, Representative Renasha, CBA Representative Villaflores. Mr. Chair, there are 40 representatives who responded to the call.
Thank you, Secretaries. With 40 responding to the call, the Chair declares the presence of a quorum. Before we start, the Chair would like to first thank the Silliman University Library for being so accommodating to us. The chairs were for free, so thank you to the library if they can hear us. And welcome to the last session of this year. So to everyone here, congratulations for making it this far. Okay, so moving forward, we'll now proceed with reading the order of business for our session today. Our session for the 10th regular session, order of business reads, call to order, opening ceremonies, roll call, reading of communication letters consisting of excuse letters, resignation letters from Representatives Dizon and Desquitado as CAS representatives, visitors time coming from the Governor of ICLS and the Chairperson of SUSG Finance Committee, approval of previous minutes from the 9th regular session, reports of constitutional committees with the midterm attendance report from the Committee on Impeachments, and our discussion for the agenda of the day, consisting of one resolution, which is a resolution reconciling the jurisdiction of the SUSG Judiciary with the 2024 Revised Student Manual, elections consisting of Committee on Appointments for 1 member, Committee on Audit 1 member, ad hoc committees, 1 member for the Ad hoc Constitutional Amendments Committee, and one University Council representative for the University Health Council, and the designation or recognition of the designation of the Deputy Majority Floor Leader. Going once, going twice, chairs none, all in favor of the adoption of the order of business, please say aye. Not in favor, say nay. Majority has it. The order of business for the 10th regular session is accepted. Moving forward, we have our reading of communication letters. We have 3 excuse letters. The chair requests that it be presented. Representative, do you all have internet connection right now? Okay, the Infotech has made me aware that there is no internet for them. A minute or so. Is the live cut off? Okay. If the chair may request, for those of you who have multiple devices on one table, if kaya lang, you just share para we can save bandwidth, especially for the live stream. So for those of you with multiple devices on one table, just if kaya lang, just share as much as possible. Anyway, moving forward, our excuse letters. First excuse letter comes from Representative Isada requesting excuse from the 9th regular session. Are there any motions? Representative Rendon, you're recognized.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I would like to accept the excuse letter of Representative Isada.
Properly moved and seconded. Are there any discussions, objections? Going once, going twice. Chair hears none. Excuse letters accepted. Next letter comes from Representative Cabanas from Junior High School, requesting excuse from the 9th regular session. Are there any motions? Representative Maputi.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to accept the excuse letter of Representative Cabanas.
Properly moved and seconded. Are there any objections or discussions? Going once, going twice. Chair is none. Excuse letters accepted. Next letter comes from Representative Hernandez, also from Junior High, requesting excuse from the 9th regular session. Are there any motions? Representative Malolo, you're recognized.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to accept Representative Hernandez's excuse letter.
Any seconds? Properly moved and seconded. Any discussions or objections? Going once, going twice. Chair is done. Excuse letters accepted. That concludes our excuse letters for our communication letters. Next, once again, we will not be presenting these, but and I will not be reading them anymore. But next on the agenda are the resignation letters of Representatives Dizon and Desquitado. The representatives in the assembly have been furnished a copy of their respective resignation letters, so we will not be reading them, but you are free to read them as it is addressed, more or less. It is addressed to the Speaker and to the Assembly. So with this, it's unfortunate that they will no longer be part of the Assembly with us, but we will be respecting their wishes and their respective reasons and rationales. So on behalf of the 35th Assembly, we wish the Representative Dizon and Representative Desquitado all the best in their academic and other extracurricular activities and their endeavors. So thank you. We thank them for their service the last semesters and all their efforts to the student body. And with that being said, they will also be forfeiting or resigning from their other positions from the Assembly, so that leaves it open. So with this, the Chair recognizes the resignations of Representatives Dizon and Desquitado as representatives of the College of Arts and Sciences. Next, we have our visitors' time. We have two individuals who have requested an audience with the 35th Student Assembly, and the Chair is inclined to grant them their request. So, are there any motions to summon first the Governor of the Institute of Clinical Laboratory Sciences? Representative Kalumpang, you're recognized.
Thank you for the acknowledgement, Mr. Chair. I move to summon the first Governor Kyle Peter Josh Deluvio for the first half of the visitors' time.
Properly moved and seconded. Governor, the floor is now yours. You may proceed to the podium. The floor is now yours, Governor. You may now speak what's in your mind.
Honorable members of the Ceremonies University Student Government and Student Assembly, thank you for this opportunity to speak in front of you. Thank you for giving ICLS the platform to voice out our concerns regarding our safety, especially at the Ethel Chapman building. I'm Cal Peter Josh Bernaldez Deluvio, a third-year Ceremonies University student taking up Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology. I'm also the elected governor of the Silliman University Institute of Clinical Laboratory Sciences Student Council. I am writing this letter to express the thoughts and worries of the students, faculty, and staff of the Institute concerning the current state of the Ethel Chapman Building. The Ethel Chapman Building long ago used to be a women's dormitory. Then it was made into one of the facilities that belonged to the College of Nursing. Eventually, as more buildings were created to cater to the said college, the two-story building was later handed down and is being used by our department, the Institute of Clinical Laboratory Sciences, to this date. The building is made of wood, consisting of 2 floors. Throughout the years, it has faced challenges in terms of the unexpected weather and natural disasters. Despite such, classes continue to push through, facing the risk of degradation by the day. In fact, prior to the pandemic, several rooms were already prohibited from entry and use as they were vulnerable areas of the building. Such rooms were characterized by brittle floors and flimsy supporting beams, being unable to support a block of students. Following the earthquakes over the past few months, Silliman University conducted inspections across its facilities, including the Ethel Chapman Building. On October 11, 2025, the Facilities Management and Administrative Services, FMAS, carried out a site investigation and found that the wooden framing of the second floor had deteriorated to the point of being unsafe, unable to support more than 3 individuals at a time. Out of concern for the safety of occupants and structural integrity of the building, access to the second floor, which has 7 laboratory classrooms, has since been restricted to reduce loading on the compromised structure. This situation, while necessary, has resulted in significant room shortages, as only the 6 first-floor classrooms remain available for laboratory use. The situation has disrupted academic activities and placed added strain on both students and faculty. Furthermore, a structural engineer has advised that a more practical long-term solution would be to plan for eventual demolition and replacement with a new facility constructed using reinforced concrete or composite concrete steel framing systems. To add more context to the situation, currently, the first floor of the building is still being occupied by students and faculty, as classes are being conducted in the 6 laboratory classrooms in the first floor. The administration's attempt to make it safe is to fortify the structure with large beams of seemingly reused wood, appearing as if they're decades old already. And while this may help, they can only do so much. Despite the recommendation of FMAS to have a more practical and long-term solution and plan for the eventual demolition and replacement of the building, we continue to stay at the Ethel Chapman Building, listening to our instructors and conducting laboratory activities with a heightened sense of fear and anxiety. Day by day, we continue to worry. What if an earthquake happens again? What will happen if the entire building collapses onto us? How can we study and learn properly if we have to constantly worry about our safety? The medical technology course carries one of the highest tuition fees in the university. Yet the facilities provided, particularly the Ethel Chapman Building, fall short of the standards expected in an institution of this quality. Students enter the EC with a heightened sense of fear of anxiety, as what I've said earlier, aware of the risks posed by its compromised structure. A total of 327 responses, roughly 2/3 of the population, were gathered through Google Forms to evaluate their experience of the student life on the EC building in terms of safety, security, conduciveness for learning, impact on well-being, and impact on academic performance. The findings reveal widespread concern on dissatisfaction among students. In terms of safety, when asked about how safe the students feel inside the EC in terms of structural integrity, for instance, cracks and stability, the average rating was 1.84, with the majority of respondents rating the building 1, that is very poor. This demonstrates that students overwhelmingly perceive the EC building as unsafe and structurally compromised. Regarding security, the question, how would you rate the adequacy of security measures, such as your locks, monitoring belongings, and personal safety in EC, received an average rating of 2.5, which falls between poor and neutral. This indicates that students find the building's security measures inadequate, adding to their sense of vulnerability. When asked about conduciveness for learning, specifically in consideration of the shortage of rooms and frequent transfers from one facility to another, the average rating was 2.06. This reflects a clear consensus that the current environment is poor for academic engagement, as the lack of available rooms and constant relocation disrupts the continuity of learning. In addition to this, because of the lack of rooms, the number of students per block actually has increased from 10 to 16. This has compromised the teacher-student interaction, which is a hallmark of IECLS education, allowing the institute to produce competent graduates. In terms of the impact on the well-being of the students, the question, how much does the EC situation affect your physical comfort and mental well-being? It received an average rating of 2.27, again, staying between poor and neutral. This highlights the building's condition, that the building's condition is not only academically disruptive, but also detrimental to the students' mental health and state. Finally, when asked about the impact on academic performance, the average rating was 2.49, again falling between poor and neutral. Students reported that the instability of the learning environment negatively influences their confidence and the development of essential laboratory skills. Responses collected through Google Forms consistently reflect the laid out concerns. Students have reported incidents of falling debris, which not only disrupts classes but also creates hazards within the building. Beyond the academic impact, the dust and particles generated by the deteriorating structure have aggravated allergies, asthma, and other respiratory conditions, negatively affecting the health of the students. In addition, we have actually recently experienced a leakage from the bathroom on the second floor, spilling waste materials and contaminated fluids from the defective tubings onto the first floor. This not only poses a serious physical and health hazard, but has also deprived students of access to nearby functional comfort rooms, further compounding the difficulties we face on a daily basis. To add to this, actually, the Ethel Chapman does not currently have a functioning comfort room. So usually the students actually go to the College of Business Administration or the College of Arts and Sciences in the middle of class. Despite the significant tuition fees saved, by students are compelled to study in an environment that undermines their academic performance and their well-being. With these findings and concerns expressed by students, faculty, and staff, we respectfully urge the Office of the President and the Board of Trustees to take immediate and decisive action for the EC building. Because although efforts are in place to build 3 laboratory rooms at the Roble Hall, we still lack 4 more rooms to compensate for the 7 unused rooms at the second floor. To add, we also cannot stay any longer at the 6 laboratory rooms at the first floor due to concerns on safety. Ultimately, the current state of the facility poses risks not only to safety, but also to the quality of education and the well-being of the university community, particularly the Institute of Clinical Laboratory Sciences. As we cannot simply remain in this situation and wait for the building to collapse onto us, we therefore appeal for a concrete plan that addresses both short-term safety measures and long-term solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. If the chair may ask, would you be okay if we send a copy of your letter to the representatives so they can read it fully?
Yes.
Okay, please do that. Okay, before moving forward, the chair would like to add that President Malala and I have spoken to Engineer Debonair, so more information will be given later on. But moving forward, is Representative Kalompang. Go ahead. Microphone, please.
Mr. Chair, may I request to have the floor to give a privileged speech?
Is there any seconds to the motion to make for a privileged speech? Okay, properly moved and seconded. The floor is given to Representative Kalompang.
Honorable members of the Student Assembly, respected officers, and fellow students, good day. I am Sofia Franz Kalumpang, a representative from the Institute of Clinical Laboratory Sciences, and I stand here not to restate what has already been comprehensively explained by our governor, but to echo and deepen the concern that every medical technology student has been carrying not just for months, but for years. The governor has already laid out the technical findings, the data, and the severity of the structural concerns regarding Ethel Chapman Hall. What I wish to highlight today is the lived reality of the students who continue to work, learn, and move within that space, and the ripple effect that unsafe facilities create across an institution like ours. For us in MedTech, the Ethel Chapman Hall is not just a building. It is where our foundation and practical applications are honed, where we perform procedures, handle costly equipment, and prepare for the profession we hope to dedicate our lives to. But entering that building every day has become an emotional and mental burden that students quietly endure because we believe in the value of our education. We continue to attend classes even when we know that the space we are using is not ideal, not comfortable, and more importantly, not safe. And even with the temporary relocation of classes and additional supports placed in the building, the truth is that these measures still remain short-term. They do not remove the daily uncertainty. They do not erase the constant worry that students and faculty carry each time they step inside the hall. They do not guarantee that our learning environment will not be compromised again should another calamity strike. But I want to be clear, this is not just a medtech issue. The call we are making is bigger than one department. It is about the basic rights and non-negotiable expectations that every student of this university deserves, whether you come from nursing, business, education, engineering, or arts and sciences. Because the right to a safe and stable learning environment is not tied to your program, your tuition fee, or the building assigned to you. It is a universal right connected to the quality education we deserve and the student welfare we need to be provided for. No student should ever have to wonder if the room they are learning in can withstand the next earthquake. No educator should have to choose between teaching effectively and ensuring the students are physically safe. We often speak about academic excellence and producing competent graduates, but excellence cannot thrive in an environment where safety is questioned, where classes must adjust to unstable facilities, or where learning spaces fall short of the standards expected of a university that prides itself on quality. With this, I respectfully call on the concerned offices to provide for us not just the Institute of Clinical Laboratory Sciences, but the entire student body with a clear, transparent, and long-term plan. We ask for definitive steps. What comes after the temporary measures? What will happen to the facilities that have been assessed as unsafe? How will the university ensure that every department, not only ours, has adequate, secure, and appropriate learning spaces moving forward? This appeal is not meant to blame nor dismiss the efforts already done. It is a call for responsible, proactive, and for transparency and accountability. We are ready to cooperate, to communicate, and to support the necessary transitions. All we ask for is clarity, assurance, and a commitment to prioritizing every student's safety. At the end of the day, every student in this university, regardless of program or year level, deserves to study in an environment that protects their well-being and allows them to learn without fear. Safe learning spaces are not privileges, they are rights. And those rights should be upheld for every Silimanian walking through the doors of this institution. Thank you, and may we address this matter with the seriousness and compassion it rightfully deserves.
Thank you, Representative Columpang. Governor Deluvio, can you please return to the podium? Thank you. So on behalf of the Student Assembly, we thank both the representative and the governor of ICLS for bringing these concerns forward and putting them on the record, and especially entrusting with that the Student Assembly may be of help and do something, and of course fight for the rights of your respective constituencies as they are also ours. So with this, are there any questions or inquiries that any representative would like to forward to the governor and the representative? Representative Teves.
Thank you for the acknowledgement, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much to Governor and Rep for airing out these concerns. To add reinforcement to the possible solutions we'll have in the future regarding this issue, would you be amenable to giving us as well a copy of the survey results that you've had? Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Further inquiries or questions to address to the governor or and the representative? Okay. If with that, once again, the President Malala and I were able to discuss with the head of FMAS, Engineer Mam. With this, the chair is proposing that the assembly, because maybe it's already too late now to do a resolution because there's already implementations going, but I'm proposing that this assembly will write a letter affirming the stance of ICLS and as an act of solidarity and as further call to action to the university to help even expedite the process. So with this, is everyone in the assembly amenable to this? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Not in favor? Okay. So with this, I'll be requesting Representative Kalumpang and Representative Teves, of course, and of course the floor leaders will be hopefully by midweek next week, probably Wednesday, we can draft a full letters that we can all co-sign and send to the university, and so we can also to affirm our stance that we stand by ICLS and the students, and we are fighting for their rights as well. So once again, are there any clarifications or questions for them, or any manifestations that you wish to bring forward regarding the matter? Is there anything from the floor? Going once, going twice. Okay, once again, thank you very much, Governor and Representative, for your trust and help with this. Okay, so allow the chair to add that councils who wish to. This assembly is highly receptive to moments like these where you air out your concerns and problems because not everything makes its way to the student assembly. So we are highly receptive to these, and if you wish to bring forward something to the student assembly's attention and to put it on the record, please do so. Our emails are open and we are highly receptive to these. So once again, thank you very much, ICLS Governor and Representative. Yes, one more round of applause for them, please. Thank you. Moving forward, our next visitor's time comes from the chairperson of SUSG Finance Committee, our Honorable AJ Ramirez. Are there any motions to summon? Representative Ozoa.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to summon Honorable Ramirez for her visitor's time.
Properly moved and seconded. Honorable Ramirez, the floor is yours.
So, good afternoon, honorable members of the Assembly. Thank you for granting me the time to present an important update regarding our financial procedures within the SUSG. I believe the Assembly is well acquainted with the core documents governing our current financial processes, such as the cash advance, the requisition, and the request for payment. However, the Finance Committee has recently been informed by the Business and Finance Committee that a critical addition is now required for all SUSG transactions, which is a purchase order. So the purchase order is a mandatory new financial instrument within the SUSG, serving as a formal documented commitment to procure goods or services and ensuring compliance with the Business and Finance Office standards. All purchases for events must now be sourced exclusively from Silman University's approved suppliers, whose official list is currently pending release from the BFO. Crucially, before any purchase order can be issued, the SUSG must first generate a canvassing report, which requires meticulous comparison of quotations from these accredited suppliers, detailing the exact specifications, quantities, and costs of the required items to justify the selection and ensure fiscal prudence. Or in summary, a purchase order is where we can purchase items for events, where Silliman has suppliers that we can purchase from, and where we must provide a canvassing report based on those suppliers with the exact details of said item. That would mean that the new student government's financial workflow of documents is now different. A cash advance is now used exclusively for non-material payments, such as honorariums and talent fees. The requisition is reserved for university-provided events, including facilities like tables from FMAS and equipment from IMTC. The request for payment is still a mechanism for seeking reimbursement for funds that have already been expended. The new purchase order is now the mandatory instrument for all material purchases, covering items such as snacks, office supplies, cloth, lanyards. So this would now mean that the purchase order is now the only document allowed in the BFO when requesting particular items. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ramirez. So as mentioned before, this highly affects SUSG as a whole in terms of our financial system. Please stay. Okay. Yeah, this highly affects the SUSG financial system as a whole, and so I'm requesting that Committee on Appropriations and Committee on Audit take note of these, and because these will affect how budget proposals will come and go, and as well as the incoming appropriations. So with that, are there any inquiries for the chairperson here? Going once, going twice. Thank you, Honorable Ramirez. Okay. Okay, we're requesting a copy of the PowerPoint to be given to the Assembly. Thank you. Okay. Moving forward with our agenda, we have approval of previous minutes. So, are there any motions to adopt the minutes of the 9th regular session? Representative Ozoa, I recognize.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to adopt the approval of the previous minutes.
There's been a motion to adopt the previous minutes of the 9th regular session. Are there any seconds? Okay, properly moved and seconded. The chair will give a minute or so for the representatives to review in case there are any amendments needed to be made. And once again, the excuse letters that were approved today will reflect in the minutes. So no worries to the 3 representatives who passed excuse letters today. Once again, Representative Mohammed.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I would like to make an amendment within the minutes of the previous session. Apparently, in many places of the minutes itself, my name has been added an extra M. My name is just Mohamed, just a single M for the rest of the minutes. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take that as a technical amendment. Secretaries, please take note. Before anything, the chair would like to thank and recognize our Acting Assistant Secretary, Representative Valicer. Sorry. Apologies for the late recognition. Representative Macarubo, followed by Representative Arbon.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. In regards to the first resolution, item 17, I would just like to have a clarification on when Rep. Valicer answer na says it will come from there. Is there an error sa there or come from there? But
okay,
no, like what's the? Okay, originally on item 16 I asked where will the fees be taken, miscellaneous university, and then I feel like it's as if the answer wasn't recorded properly. It will come from there, but there's no specification if it's to miscellaneous or university fees. There. Okay.
It was actually recorded verbatim, like so mojo iyang say, so it wasn't.
As on the wrong spelling or siya? Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
It's there, meaning to say it will come from the budgetary allocation of the CSSO. So from the budget of the CSSO.
So can we place that there instead for 17? Is it allowed?
Yes, you can move to amend the
Okay,
minutes.
I would like to move to amend there to have it be the budget of the CSSO.
So to strike out there and replace it with
The
from
budget.
their budget allocation. Okay, of the CCSO.
Okay, thank you.
Any seconds? Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Not in favor, they say nay. No objections, not in favor. Amendment is carried. Further amendments? Representative Arbon, yes.
Thank you very much for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move to amend my attendance. I was present last meeting instead of absent. Thank you very much.
That's true. He was present. Okay, we'll take that as we'll take that as a technical. Representative, were you just to clarify, because Secretary is asking, were you present or late? Present. Okay, we'll take your word for it. Technical amendment. Further amendments? Going once? Going twice? Okay. No further discussions. All those in favor of adopting the minutes of the 9th regular session with its amendments, please raise your hand. Okay, hands down, not in favor. Okay, with 36 in favor, 0 not in favor, motion is carried and the minutes of the 9th regular session is accepted as amended. Next in our order of business, we have reports of the constitutional committees. The chair summons the Committee on Impeachments to give their midterm attendance report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable Assembly. The Committee on Impeachment would like to present a detailed report on the cumulative attendances of the 35th SUSG Student Assembly representatives during the first semester of academic year 2025 to 2026. The representatives have already been furnished a copy of this report, which contains a table of the collected data based on the approved minutes of the Assembly Secretaries from the 1st to 8th regular session and 1st to 4th special session. A total of 8 regular sessions and 4 special sessions are accounted for in the report. As regards to the attendances of the Student Assembly, the committee gladly reports that no representative has accumulated absences, tardiness, and exits that constitute for grounds for impeachment. On that note, the committee would like to commend the representatives for their performance in the first semester. Congratulations. Please note that at the time of writing of this document, the 35th SUSG Assembly House Rules does not include stipulations regarding measures against excused absences, excused tardiness, and excused exits. The Committee on Impeachment certifies that this is a truthful and accurate report. However, should you have any concerns about your attendances as reflected in this report, please feel free to raise your concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Are there any inquiries or clarifications needed for this report? Okay, if the Chair may ask one. Is Representative Inoferio not included in the report?
Oh, apologies, Mr. Chair. We will amend the report.
But he's also not in the danger zone, correct?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. So with that, thank you very much, Committee on Impeachments, and may the Chair also likewise commend this Assembly for their commitment to attendance and not putting themselves in the danger zone of impeachment. So congratulations to the Assembly for that. Thank you. Yeah. Are there once again, any other clarifications or questions? Going once, going twice? Chair is none. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Okay. Moving forward, we'll now begin our discussion of the agenda for the day. Okay. Representative Villa Flores.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move for a 10-minute recess.
Any objections? Okay. Okay, the chair will make it 15 minutes. No objections, going once, going twice, chairs none. This session is suspended for 15 minutes.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
What exactly is the scope of your resolution?
The entire university.
No, I mean.
Define scope, okay.
Okay, more or less what's the significance?
Significance of the judiciary's role on the SUSG constitution is what they call it, not really aligned anymore with the student manual is the is the higher authority. So we're just so Lawrence and I we just reconfigured their purpose, which is still somehow aligned, which is still aligned, but that's really just
Stereo na siya. Hello. Yeah. Hello? It connected some. Nasa short connect. Okay. Okay, it's not connected to USB. Okay. Okay, no problem.
Mic test. Check mic test.
Case. Tindog na lang mo daan. Tindog mo daan. Stand up daan. Stand.
Jurisdiction of the SUSG Judiciary with the 2024 revised student manual. The chair would like to summon the proponents of this resolution.
Good afternoon, representatives. We are here to present a resolution reconciling the jurisdiction of the SUSG Judiciary with the 2024 revised student manual. So, whereas under Section 9, Article 2 of the SUSG Constitution, the SUSG shall instill discipline in the students within its jurisdiction, accordingly initiate measures relative to its policy. So, in this case, in relation to whereas 2, there are in law 3 ways to confer jurisdictions. I'll just explain a short term of what jurisdiction is. Jurisdiction is the authority of the court to try, decide, and hear a case. So in this case, as mentioned earlier, there's 3 ways to confer it. In this case, it's jurisdiction over subject matter. So that just means that the judiciary has the jurisdiction to handle certain offenses. And the reason why we are bringing this resolution before you today is because there's some discrepancies between the SUSG's Constitution and the 2024 revised student manual. If you may scroll down. As you can see there, we have whereas 6 and whereas 7, where it pertains to certain offenses being minor and major. And in line with this, these are provided under the 2024 student manual. However, these offenses are under the jurisdiction of the University Disciplinary Board or the college deans as provided. However, in line with the SUSG Constitution, it provides that all student misconducts would fall under the jurisdiction of the judiciary. So in this case, we will need to reconcile them both. So if we can scroll down a bit more to the Resolution Act. So first we have Section 1, Jurisdiction and Student Misconduct. So they will exercise jurisdiction in all cases not covered by the student manual. However, if there are cases covered by this manual which is filed before the judiciary, they will still be able to make an action to a certain extent, which is to have a preliminary determination as to the validity of the complaint, and then they shall refer this to the appropriate office for proper action. However, if there is mediation available, they will try to make this a mediation or settlement occur. Then we have Section 2, Jurisdiction over student leaders' misconduct. This jurisdiction would only fall for misconduct which is committed in the duty of their office. So for example, if you're a student leader but your offense is unrelated to your office, but it falls within the revised student manual, then it will go to the revised student manual. Now we have Section 3, Jurisdiction over judicial committees. So as mentioned earlier, some colleges have their own committees. And when these colleges, judiciary committees, when they make their own decisions, you may, if you disagree with their decision, bring it up to the SUSG Judiciary Committee, the SUSG Judiciary to appeal. Next, we have jurisdiction over judicial review. So in this case, as representatives, when we make resolutions, the judiciary will have the power to decide if it's unconstitutional so that they may do something about it. The next, of course, we have jurisdiction over election offenses. All those that fall under Section 5 are present in the Omnibus Election Code. And finally, we have Section 6, which is power to recommend. Once again, the SUSG Judiciary, they can recommend certain actions to the board, such as the suspension of a student. They can also recommend that this student will not be applicable for a certain grant, scholarship, or anything else. However, this is a recommendation alone. They cannot compel the board to accept such recommendation because that's beyond their power. And once again, we're bringing this before you representatives because there's a cloud in their jurisdiction because we need to draw a line on what they can do and what they cannot do. Thank you.
As well, the importance of this resolution is also because if you have been updated in like the Silliman Reddit, there have been complaints na that the judiciary is not doing anything, and at the same time, misconceptions as to the purpose and the duties of the judiciary. So the importance of this is that this will also be publicized, so students are more aware, Jude, of what the judiciary can do, cannot do, and their purpose. Because again, our goal here is to inform the students of the true purpose and the actions that each branch of our student government can do. So with that, that's the importance of this resolution, and we're hoping that the Assembly will find it good enough to pass.
Thank you, proponents. Are there any motions to adopt this resolution? Yes, Representative Azowa.
Thank you for the recognition, Madam Chair. I move to adopt this resolution.
Properly moved and seconded. Are there any discussions? Yes, Representative Calasang.
Thank you for the recognition, Madam Chair. Point of inquiry to the proponents. May we ask during your consultation what the stance of the judiciary branch is on the resolution itself?
So in this case, the judiciary branch, they actually supported us because at the same time, their hands are a bit tied at the moment because it's hard to decipher for them on where their jurisdiction lands. Because if they are to decide on certain cases which falls on the revised student manual, they may be encroaching on the jurisdiction of the deans or the university disciplinary board. So making this resolution, they actually want to make it clear where their jurisdiction lies, to also help the students so they know if they should file before the dean, before the board, or before the judiciary.
As further evidence, also, you may see the SUSG judiciary page. They posted our consultation with them as well.
Satisfied, Madam Chair.
Further discussions? Yes, Representative Rosell.
Thank you for the recognition, Madam Chair. Just a point of inquiry, Madam Chair. For context lang, based on the previous years that I've been in Silliman University, I've noticed there has always been a delay in the appointment of the justices. So there has been a period of time where the judiciary is not active yet. So what happens to the cases that supposedly falls under the jurisdiction of the judiciary? Does it get recommended to the disciplinary board Dayon, or?
Your question, thank you, Representative. So your question is if, in the case that they're not appointed yet in the present administration, actually in the current constitution, there is more or less a safeguard for that, because if ever the incumbent administration is unable to appoint new justices, those remaining from the previous administration as justices, they will continue on in service until a new set of justices are appointed. So that was a safeguard that was placed to address the delay in appointment of judiciary justices. So they will still have the power to try and look at these cases, and they'll be the ones to look after them and make their recommendations if needed.
Inquiry satisfied, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Further discussions? Yes, Representative Azowa.
Thank you for the recognition, Madam Chair. This is not a question to the resolution specifically, but the precedent this resolution sets. So it was an understanding that as legislators, we write resolutions that will not impose on the different branches of the SUSG. However, although this resolution is in good faith and was actually recommended by the judiciary, this basically sets the scope and limitation of the judiciary. So I just want to hear your sentiments or your thoughts, just to put it on record for succeeding representatives to see as to where do we allow ourselves to write resolutions setting limitations or like instructions to the different branches, and where does it end?
Well, this resolution, just to go back to the rationale of why this resolution was written, it's because there is based on the definition given by the SUSG Constitution as stated in our whereas clause. Whereas clause number 4, it states that the judiciary shall exercise individual judicial powers in all cases related to the conduct of students. So because of that, there is the line of the power of the judiciary there is a question on that line, and there is a need to reconcile or harmonize what power they have over student misconduct under the student manual and what misconducts they can have power over in like cases under the judiciary. So if you can see in the revised student manual, it states what student misconducts fall under the jurisdiction of the student manual. So that's why in section 1, it was stated which misconducts the SUSG judiciary have power or control over, and those are the misconducts that are not stated in the student revised manual. So I think this is important because if we do not write a resolution or a statute or a law that clarifies the jurisdiction of the judiciary, then there will be a conflict on who has power to decide cases on student misconducts. Would it be under the SUSG judiciary, or would it be directly under the administration of the university? So that's the rationale why we have to draw a line on which cases the judiciary has control or has authority over.
And additionally, in common practice of law, Infomedia, can you scroll up to section, whereas clause 2? It should be in the first page. Okay. It's here, once again, jurisdiction is over the subject matter, and considering that we, as the Assembly, we follow that of the government, so it has been provided in Non versus Comelec, where jurisdiction over the subject matter is conferred only by the Constitution or statute, and procedural rules cannot override the substantive provisions. So I would like to explain na lang once again a bit more in depth. So in remedial law, there are 3 ways to get jurisdiction. So we have jurisdiction conferred to by law, jurisdiction over the person, jurisdiction over the subject matter, jurisdiction over the person of the accused in some cases, and jurisdiction of territory. So of course, territory, if it's done here, it would be decided here. Jurisdiction over the person, such as service of summons, or jurisdiction over the subject matter, which is conferred only by law. So in legislation, for legislative branch, they're usually the ones who create certain laws, as for example, penal laws that give certain punishments which are provided and go to certain branches of the court. So we have the first level court, the second level courts. We have the Court of Appeals, we have the Supreme Court. So in this case, we're putting a barrier on where each offense can go, so it's more clear. Because the judiciary, they're not allowed to legislate on their own because that's judicial legislation, and that's frowned upon in the Philippines. So in this case, by making this for them, we're giving them a foundation of where they can work.
And as a last thing, which is already enshrined in our SUSG Constitution, the executive branch to the president is able to veto our resolutions if their judgment is that our resolutions, for example, if ever a future representative were to write something regarding the judiciary, they have the power to veto it. And at the same time, the judiciary, as stated in this resolution and in practice of law, they are able to rule our legislations as unconstitutional. So that is the safeguard, so that's the safeguard to protect such precedent that we are setting for the future.
Satisfied, Madam Chair.
Further discussions? Going once? Going twice? Chair is none. The chair will now put the question on the adoption. Yes, Representative Jacoba.
Thank you for the acknowledgement, Madam Chair. So this is a point of inquiry to the proponents as well. So it has been mentioned that consultations were made from the judiciary, right? So we would just like to ask also if the resolution is to draw a line, right, on where the judiciary should perform their duties when it comes to student misconduct. Is that correct? Okay, so have you ever consulted with the UDB about this? Or is it necessary to consult the UDB?
To answer your question, no, we did not consult the University Disciplinary Board, but we do not think it is necessary because we are only talking about the jurisdiction of the SUSG judiciary. We are not encroaching upon the jurisdiction that the university has. So it is also clear in our proposed resolution that we are only clearing the line of the jurisdiction of the SUSG judiciary. And it is clear that the University Disciplinary Board has jurisdiction over the minor and major offenses already stated in the student manual. It can be seen in whereas clause 6 and whereas clause 7. And in those clauses, the SUSG judiciary does not have jurisdiction over those offenses because those offenses fall under the University Disciplinary Board. So we did not touch on those, which is why in section 1 of our proposed act, please, may I ask the Infotech to kindly highlight the phrase not covered. In all student misconduct cases not covered by the revised student manual. So that is why that is the first section right away in our proposed act, because it is to clearly show that for those cases that are included in the revised student manual, it will directly fall under your dean, your college dean, or the University Disciplinary Board.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I would just like to ask, so how will the student know if this case needs to be addressed to the UDB or needs to be addressed to their respective deans, as you have said?
So if a student would like to file a complaint, they can easily go over our student manual, which can be accessed online. So they can go to their specific dean, they can file a complaint to their own dean, or they may also file to the judiciary. Why? Because it's also stated in section 1 that if ever there are cases that do not fall within the judiciary, but it was filed with the judiciary may still look on these cases, but they will only provide for a recommendation. For instance, they may recommend for a mediation so that it will not go for a long, process. So if they can mediate for the problem to be resolved quickly or easier, then they can do so. But again, if these cases will be under the student manual, the judiciary may also say that we would like to refer this to the proper or appropriate office because we do not have authority over this case.
Okay, last.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ate. That was so informative. In an instance where there is a case that is in the student manual but has also some stipulations that are not in the student manual, so asa siya mas submit? Should it be in the judiciary or mas higher gyapon ang sa UDB?
I would just like to clarify with this. Is this one action which results in multiple offenses?
Yes.
Okay. So in that case,
Again,
depends on where the case was filed. So if
Okay.
it was filed with the judiciary, they can only do so much. That belongs to their power.
So meaning if it is not submitted in the UDB and it is submitted in the judiciary cannot do anything about it.
No. If it was submitted
Or they
with
can
the
recommend.
Yes.
Recommend.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative. Yes, Representative Kalasang.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you for the recognition, Madam Chair. I would like to ask to the proponents if this SUSG Judiciary Jurisdiction Act is proactive na in the case that the student manual is unsang term na kuan like like nanapoy added minor offenses and major offenses. Will the SUSG Judiciary also adjust to that to the student manual?
Okay. Yes, the judiciary will have to adjust because the place where the acts were listed were on the resolution itself, but not on the Judiciary Jurisdiction Act. So if you are to look at Section 1, where cases not covered by the revised student manual, so let's say there's a case this year, but next year it won't fall. There's one this year, but it's not covered, but it will be covered next year. It depends on when the act was filed. So there may be retroactive effect, but it truly depends on when it was filed. And additionally, the judiciary will always have to adjust to the UPD, to the University Disciplinary Board, if they are to add any other offenses to the list. Okay, the judiciary are always informed.
At the same time, we also didn't add the year in the act, so if ever the student manual is revised again, it covers the future one because we didn't actually add the year to the act. So it will cover if ever the student manual is revised again, this act will still follow suit with that revised one.
Okay, thank you. Satisfied, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative. Are there any further discussions? Yes, Representative Hamera.
Thank you for the recognition, Madam Chair. I would just like to ask, since you have not consulted the pertinent offices or any offices outside other than the judiciary, I would like to ask, how assured are you that, as it was mentioned, Manggod, here in phrases, that the judiciary may coordinate with the concerned office when there's a complaint or for settlements, but how assured are we that the office will comply or respond or at least mediate together with the judiciary?
I would like to repeat once again that the judiciary, when they make recommendations for mediation or anything of the like, they cannot compel the University Disciplinary Board to accept it. It's more on recommendation, Jude. You cannot compel an office to accept.
So what would be followed will be the action of the office, because the judiciary is only limited to the power to recommend only. But the office is not obliged to accept the recommendation of the judiciary. And moreover, the reason for not consulting with the other offices is because the point of our resolution is merely to confer jurisdiction to the SUSG judiciary. So we do not have power over the other offices, but only over the SUSGs, the specific SUSG branch.
And additionally, another reason why we didn't have a consultation with them, that's because we're not encroaching in their jurisdiction, we're not diminishing their jurisdiction, we're not adding anything to their workload. Rather, we're just clearing the cloud that surrounds the jurisdiction of the SUSG judiciary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Are there any further discussions? Going once, going twice. Chair hears none. The chair will now put the question on the adoption of this resolution with no amendments. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those not in favor, please raise your hand. Not in favor. All those who abstain, please raise your hand. Okay. With 39 in favor, 0 not in favor, and 0 abstentions, the affirmatives have it. This resolution is hereby adopted. Congratulations, proponents. The chair would now like to relinquish her presiding seat to the Speaker of the Student Assembly. Are there any objections? Going once, going twice, the presiding seat is relinquished.
Thank you, Speaker Pro Tempore. Moving forward with our order of business, we now proceed to our elections, which were functionally postponed from the previous session, so they are now included in the agenda. So with this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 elections in accordance with our order of business. However, since we have some other positions that have been opened up to the resignations, we'll open that up in the other matters. So our first one, we have our Committee on Appointments member. So if the chair may ask, the chair would like to request the chairperson of the Committee on Appointments to maybe give a little bit more clarification and relay the duties of the Committee on Appointments, so that if anyone wishes to be a part of the Committee on Appointments, they'll have an idea of what they'll be heading into. So, Chairperson Kalasang, please.
Hello, good afternoon to the Honorable Assembly. So basically, the duties of the Committee on Appointments is to review if the appointee is fit for the position. So basically, we will just be reviewing their documents. If they fit the criteria that is set upon them, if they were applying for the position, or if they were appointed for the position as a chairperson and such. And just for further information, we will be opening some vacant positions of the executive committee to the student body. So if you were to join, or if you were to be part of the Committee on Appointments, we will be working on that. So preferably the representative to join this committee is not a chairperson of any existing committees in the Assembly.
Okay. Thank you, Chairperson Kalasang. So with this, are there any motions to open the nomination for one member for Committee on Appointments? Okay, go ahead. Representative Macarubo.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to open the nominations. Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Are there any nominations? Representative Ozoa. Properly moved and seconded. There's been a motion for 5-minute recess. Are there any objections? Representative Teves. Objection to the motion for 5-minute recess.
Oh, no, we just wanted to clarify if we're only electing one position, since according to the senior high school representatives, there are 2 vacant positions following the resignation of Rep. Narciso and Rep. Cardenas.
Okay, so we'll make that 2 members. Yes? I know what? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. Just to clarify, we will just be opening it to 1 member, as originally, diba, we opened it to 2 new members, and then we had 3 resigned. So we will just be opening it to 1 member so that we would still fit the 5 members requirement for the Consticom.
Okay, so we'll stick to just 1 member. Okay, thank you, Representative. So once again, are there any objections to the motion that we'll have a 5-minute recess? Going once, going twice, chair is none. Session suspended for 5 minutes. motion to open the nomination wasn't seconded yet, right? Okay. It was seconded? No, the motion has to be made again. Okay. Thank you for the reminder. So once again, the nominations are open for one more member for Committee on Appointments. Are there any nominations? Representative Villa Flores, you're recognized.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I would like to nominate Representative Ferrer from the senior high school.
Representative Ferrer, do you accept the nomination? Okay. Are there further nominations? Representative Teves.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to nominate Representative Umambak from the Divinity School.
Representative Umambak, do you accept the nomination? Do you accept the nomination, Representative? Okay. Okay. Representative Teves, do you accept the decline? Okay. Further nominations? Representative Macarubo.
I move to close nominations. Don't laugh at me. I move to close nominations.
Are there any seconds? I'm sorry, that was just too funny. Properly moved and seconded. There's only been one nomination, so we'll do it viva voce. All those in favor of Representative Ferrer, please say aye. Aye. Not in favor? Majority has it. Representative Ferrer is member of Committee on Appropriations. Congratulations. Okay, next on our list is Committee on... Apologies. Okay, my thing crashed. Okay. Committee on Audit. The same goes as earlier. Representative Bitong, please.
So good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I would like to move to postpone the election of a member to the Committee on Audit to the next regular session because we would hope to have our last member to be from the new CBA representative.
Properly moved and seconded. This requires... this is required 3/4, diba? Okay, all those in favor of postponing this election of Committee on Audit, please say aye. Aye. Not in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you, Representative. Next, we have our ad hoc committees. And because following the resignation of one of the representatives, we have one committee open. So I guess as Speaker, I'll be the one to explain this. So again, this committee requires 1/3 of the official list of Student Assembly representatives in accordance with the COMELEC designation of representatives, which is 55. This requires 18 members of the Student Assembly. So with this, there's only the need for only one member. So are there any motions to open? Representative Azoa.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to open the nomination of the Ad Hoc Constitutional Committee. Amendments Committee.
Properly moved and seconded. Floor is now open for nominations. Representative Azoa.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to nominate Representative Mohammed for the vacant position.
Representative Mohammed, do you accept the nomination? Wow, wholeheartedly. Representative Azoa.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to close the nomination.
Properly moved and seconded. Floor is now closed. Nominations are now closed. All those in favor of Representative Mohammed, please say aye. Aye. Not in favor, say nay. With Majority has it. Representative Mohammed is hereby a new member of the Ad Hoc Constitutional Amendments Committee. Congratulations. Okay, this one's more interesting. We have University Council representative, which is the University Health Council or committee. Are there any allied health reps who are willing to take part in this? This was already postponed from last session, so I'm hoping that if it's not feasible today, by the next time na lang. Pero are there anyone who wishes to open the nominations? Yes, Representative Kalasang.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to open the nomination for the University Health Council.
Probably moved and seconded. It's now open. The floor is now open for nominations. Representative Kalasang.
Thank you for the recognition once again. I would like to nominate Representative Francesca from IRS.
Representative Andres, do you accept the nomination? Any further nominations? Representative Estelioso.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I would like to nominate Representative Roa from the College of Nursing.
Representative Roa, do you accept the nomination? Representative Estelioso, do you accept the not rejection, the decline? Well, you have no choice. We're gonna accept it. Thank you still. Further nominations? Representative Umambak.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to close the nomination.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of Representative Andres as the University Council representative, please say aye. Aye. Not in favor, say nay. With majority has it, Representative Andres is our new University Health Council representative. Congratulations. With this previous resignations have also led to the opening of the Deputy Majority Floor Leader. It is the Chair's understanding that the Majority Floor has had their designation, so requesting the Majority Floor Leader to announce the designation of their Deputy.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. Our Deputy Majority Floor Leader is Representative Ozoa from the College of Business Administration.
The Chair recognizes Representative Ozoa as the new Deputy Majority Floor Leader. Congratulations. And moving forward, we have now our other matters, and like stated earlier, we have new open positions, particularly the Assistant Secretary, following the resignation of one of our cast representatives. So with this, do we wish to pursue having an Assistant Secretary? Because if the Chair may add, the Speaker of the Assembly needs an Assistant Secretary as soon as possible. So are there any motions to, would the floor like a short recess to discuss this, or dirtso na? Okay. Are there any motions to open the nomination? Representative Teves. Okay. You want Representative Kalambang to do it? Okay. Go. This is gonna be your partner.
Thank you for the acknowledgement, Mr. Chair. I move to open the elections for Assistant Secretary.
Are there any seconds? Properly moved and seconded. Floor is now open for nominations. Representative Kalumpang.
I nominate Representative Valiser from the College of Arts and Sciences.
Representative Valiser, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Representative Macarubo. Say that again? Say that again? I couldn't hear you. Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of Representative Valiser, please say aye. Aye. Not in favor? Congratulations to Representative Valiser. You are new Assistant Secretary. Thank you. I salute you, and we'll be in touch very soon. Okay. Moving forward. Officers, do you have any other matters to bring up? None? Okay. The chair would like to summon our acting or ad interim treasurer to for announcements regarding our matter later on. Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, after the session today, I will be collecting the entrance fee, which is. Okay, so I will be collecting for the entrance fee after the session. So, before you exit the venue, I would still be continuing the collection. Yes, I'll still be continuing collecting. So, on that note, this is also an update for our polo shirt uniform. It is already currently on progress, and then we will be able to get a copy by next week. And for those who haven't paid yet, even on full or in half, please pay so that when all of the clothes arrive, we can get it in total. So that's all.
Also, if the chair may add, there will be a delay in the lanyards because due to the new finance BFO policy, the lanyards will be delayed. So stay tuned for that. So thank you, Acting Treasurer. And Speaker Pro Tempore, do you have anything to add regarding our fellowship later? There na.
So, a few reminders that I've also sent on the GC, but I will be reiterating. So, our fellowship night will be later. That's 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And it will be held at Mad Monkeys Dumaguete. So, please coordinate with your floor leaders for your transportation and your other arrangements. Please arrive on time so we can start smoothly. Please bring your white elephant gift. So again, no gift, no entry. Additionally, as what Rep. Estolioso said a while ago, he will be collecting the 100 fee. So no 100 pesos, no exit in the library. Next is to bring your swimming attire and your towels. And then no bringing of outside food. So there is a corkage fee in the venue, so we already have food, so no need to worry about the food lang. So please don't bring any outside food. And dress to impress. So I'll be seeing you out of your formal outfits and more in your summery outfits later on. And lastly, please come with your warm hearts and your big smiles because we will have a beautiful night. And just for more technical reminders, once again, more technical reminders. This is a fellowship night, so let's be inclusive to our representatives who don't celebrate the C word. So please don't say the C word tonight.
Happy holidays.
It's called a fellowship night. And additionally, let's please also make sure to uphold our integrity later on. So once again, we are still representatives, even though outside of the assembly, we're still representatives. So we need to uphold our integrity and make sure that we also don't do any chaotic energy so let's uphold our integrity in the venue. So thank you so much and see you all later.
Okay. Thank you, Speaker Pro Tempore. Allow the chair to think if there's any further announcements needed. Okay. Updates day on the search for new representatives. The respective governors have already been notified. Some of them have already responded, and I will be following up with them. So hopefully by January we can be back to full capacity in the student assembly. So thank you, representatives. So with that, are there any further announcements needed? Anyone? Okay. Are there any motions to adjourn, Representative Ozoa?
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Chair. I move to adjourn our 10th regular session.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, say nay. Majority has it. The 10th regular session of the 35th Student Assembly is adjourned. Thank you, representatives. All rise for the closing ceremonies. One more announcement I forgot to make, although it's okay, off the record ni. The executive and the Infomedia are planning on, what? That's fine. The executive